As you can see, I'm in the middle of moving to the new place, and so this is one of the last videos you're going to see in this game room until I show you my new game room. It's going to be awesome. It is going to be pimped out. It's going to be great. You guys are going to love it. There's going to be a lot of great footage, great content coming up for you guys in that. But I have to talk real quick about Awaken Realms using AI art. Guys, as almost always, I'm wearing my Into the AM shirt. They are the sponsor of today's video, and they make fantastic quality shirts just like this. As you can see, it's great. It really is. It fits great. It feels great. This is an older shirt, and I chose this one because it was on the top of the pile of a whole bunch of Into the AM shirts, and it looks great. But it's been washed many, many times. It still fits great. It still looks great. They have fantastic quality shirts, and you can save 10% extra on top of a sale already going on, even on their new stuff, via the link in the description below. So use that link and then put in that code, and you'll save 10% on top of the sales. Looking at them real quick, as you can see, they have really shown a huge breadth and quality. They've expanded a lot when it comes to like polos, button-ups. I'm going to be getting some of these for work. You can guarantee it. They are fantastic. They have shorts. They have all sorts of stuff. The monthly club that you can get exclusive shirts for cheap on there. That's awesome, of course, and some fantastic stuff. Real quick, looking at some of the new stuff, as you can see, even a lot of these fantastic newer shirts on sale, great price, and again, you can save 10% on top of them all. Guys, you will not be disappointed by these clothes. I have their boxers, I have their jackets, I was wearing one just earlier, I have their shirts. Everything's great. Feel free to check them out. It's Into the AM, linked in the description below. Thank you for sponsoring this video, and let's get into it. So, Awaken Realms announced their new stuff coming up, and one of these instantly drew my eye. Even in the midst of all of this moving and stuff, I took a look at Grim Coven because it just looks exactly like it's my kind of style, right? I really like the grim dark stuff. That's why I was drawn to Oathsworn. It's why I like Dark Souls and Elden Ring and all that other kind of stuff. Just fantastic stuff like this, and it looks great. Like I love all the cloaks, and it's almost like a Van Helsing kind of feel with these hats and stuff like that. And then you have the gigantic tower and the dead trees and the big moon and all this kind of stuff. It looks really great. Now, I don't know about this. It seems kind of sci-fi, a little steampunk kind of thing, which can kind of do a Van Helsing-ish kind of situation, so I'm okay with that. A whole bunch of flag guy. Yeah, sure, okay. It's definitely a unique style on its own. We got the candles and stuff going on and the chain-wrapped sword and, all that kind of junk, but then we have like these really sleek armor and stuff. So it looks interesting. It looks different. It looks unique. And I really like that. I think that looks great. And to talk about all the different arts and stuff like that, and all the differences you can see here. I mean, this is what I want. Like, I want that in a video game even. That looks great. So there's some really cool stuff here. And you can see some great art that they're doing. Now, Awaken Realms has always done really fantastic art. I think a lot of people agree with that. And I remember when AI art first started, I commented on how I felt like something like Etherfields, right, could pretty much all be AI art. Like their style and the style that AI does, pretty darn similar. AI can do Awaken Realms art very, very well at this point. What I wasn't necessarily expecting is for them to use AI art on something as big as the game cover. So, if you look here, this has been replaced. This is new. This is different, right? They've changed this. What it originally looked like was this. And as you can see, we've seen AI art long enough, at least this current iteration. This won't be forever, and eventually we won't be able to know the difference, and they can just pull a fast one on us. But for now, we can kind of tell if they use AI. And a lot of it is with artifacts, right? Artifacts like stuff just kind of floating out in there, right? Or stuff that doesn't quite make sense. Like this looks like it was going to be a hand, and then there's like a claw thing, or the feet don't work, right? Or like the blade is super odd and strange or broken apart like right here. Or there's like a little tiny looking kind of bow thing there, or something coming out of the hat, right? There's all those kind of telltale signs of this is just AI generated art. And so sure enough, They did go and change that. Now it's a full bow. They got rid of all the artifacts here. This is now like a lantern thing he's holding. This broken sword stuff is now daggers, right? They put the cloak down to hide the fact that the foot was missing there. So they've now edited. They've taken this and changed it to be proper art, right? The hat that kind of has a grown thing now is they just kind of like cut it off and put it there. So they did all this change to make it the proper art that we would expect the quality of Awakened Realms to produce. Now, I don't know how long they've used AI art. Obviously they do, right? Or they wouldn't have done the game cover with AI art. Obviously, there's stuff like, hey, we're trying to, make this publication. We don't have this quite yet, right? It would take time to do the art. Maybe we can speed it up real quick by doing some AI generation. There's all sorts of things around that. And AI can be used in a lot of processes as well, right? Maybe early on you're trying to get a feel for it, and then you'll fine tune it or touch it up later. And more people are using AI to start, to get a general layout, and then they do exactly this, right? They get the AI art that spits out this kind of stuff that a lot of it's good, a lot of it not so good, and then they get a real artist to touch it up, which is exactly what it looks like they did here. Now, the issue with that is, I think, twofold, right? First of all, and this is something that I don't know if anybody's mentioned or not, but they haven't said anything about this, right? This was posted on February 28th when it was pointed out. As you can see now at the time of recording, which is March 3rd, they've replaced the image, so they're aware of the AI issue. They're aware that people saw the AI. They're aware that people are talking about the AI, and they don't really talk about it. They haven't addressed it. There's no update. If you look at like the comments up here, you can see like some generic stuff, right, around it, and then you just get like some stuff that like doesn't even really pertain to it. Just they're not touching it, right? They're like, hey, we used AI art for our advertising for our main cover of a new board game, and we're not going to say what our stance on AI is. We're not going to say how we're going to use it in the future, how we've used it in the past. This is what you can expect. This is what people need to understand about us. None of that. Instead, it's just covered up, and hopefully, there's not a whole lot of coverage like this video. Well, sadly, of course, there is. Now, this is where we might disagree. I don't like the fact that they use this on the game box art. I don't like the fact that it's the first thing you see, that it's the advertising piece, right? Like this is like the cover, right? I think AI art can be targeted for a lot of sub things, right? For instance, I've talked with the guys at Oathsworn quite a bit around how expensive of a game that can be art-wise, because you get all these different items, right? And this is just a type of game, right? These type of games have a lot of items with unique art on every single thing. Every sword is unique, every dagger is unique, every cudgel, every whatever, every mace, every bow and arrow, every armor set, every piece of armor in the armor set is a unique art piece that needs to be created. Now, if you compare the expense that is and the time it takes to do that compared to something like, Blood Rage, let's say that, right? Or any kind of like a dude on a map game typically that has like, hey, here's this unit faction, here's this unit faction, here's this unit faction, here's the game board, and that's all of your art. You're done now, right? Maybe you have a few cards or something, but you don't have thousands of pieces of art, right? Madara, same kind of thing, right? They have to make thousands of pieces of art, and that is expensive. It is time consuming. I don't have an inherent issue with them utilizing AI at some point in the process. I think every piece of AI should be looked over so you don't produce this kind of garbage, right? Like, obviously that's not good, right? But even if you don't do that, right? Even if you do that, but then you touch it up and make it like this, I don't actually have an issue with AI being part of the process of making dagger number 75 in a board game. I really don't. You might, and that's fine. We all have different opinions on AI and how it can be used in the process at all, even, and then, what you use it on and all that kind of stuff, right? That's why we just like to hear, what are your stances on AI? It's why we would love Awaken Realms to just let's talk about it. Let's have that AI conversation, right? Obviously you use it. Obviously you have been using it, maybe for a while, maybe for a long while. Maybe either field was all AI. I don't know. It definitely could have been, that's for sure, right? But that's not inherently a bad thing either. It's a cool style. I think I loved the art in either fields, right? If AI was part of that process, just let me know, right? I don't know. But something like this, with the title screen, the splash, AI like marketing and stuff like that, That is where I think a lot of us draw the line a bit more. In fact, there's been a big issue on this. You may have heard of the Willy Wonka experience, and I know this isn't board game related. This is AI related, right? So if you don't know what happened, it was in Europe. I forget what country exactly. So I'm not trying to guess here. But there was a Willy Wonka experience where you could buy the tickets and have this chocolate extravaganza of stuff, right? And it had this AI art of this like jelly beans in a river and all this fun stuff, right? And people bought tickets. They even took trains to take their kids over there, and they go in, and it's a warehouse with a few little pieces of things, like a decoration or whatever. And they got like a quarter cup of lemonade and a few jelly beans at the end. Like it was a garbage experience. But the art or the advertising of it that was quickly AI generated was this extravagant thing. So it set improper expectations, right? And you look at stuff like that, or like the fast food companies being sued for how big their burgers are, or for how small the people are in pools when you get an above ground pool and you see the advertisement there, right? All this editing or improper advertising, right? There's a risk when it comes to using AI in advertising. There are laws around proper representation, right? And it's your first experience with the customer, right? Before the unboxing, before the campaign page, right? People are going to see this picture right here of Grim Coven, and they're going to say, just like me, that is awesome. But if you just leave it to AI, especially such like slacking AI where you don't even look it over properly, right? This could be what they see with a broken blade, right? With 1 foot. And you see stuff like this, and now you've lost a sale. Some people will have seen this picture and will never check this out again. That was your one chance to get their interest. And they look at that and I'm like, some generic AI stuff, right? They're lucky that the Awaken Realms logo wasn't on here. Now, with this Grim Coven put on like this, right? I believe that was man-made, right? AI often has some issues with obviously lettering and stuff, and they want to be very focused on this. So somebody didn't look at this. They were just so rushed in the process or didn't care or whatever else that they put that there, even with the hat, overlapping and stuff, like even the arrow, the little tiny arrow thing over on top of it. And it's just wild. Or these were generated separate. I mean, there's a few possibilities, right? But either way, yeah, it's kind of a big deal, right? If you're using AI that casually, AI art, I think there's definitely cause for concern and for pause and for wondering what exactly are we paying for, right? Because a lot of the excuse of board game expense, especially these days, isn't just in the components, right? I mean, that's a big deal, of course. But a lot of it is that it's something made lovingly by humans, that it's a human creation, that somebody designed and did this, right? That all of this beautiful art on this quality cardstock is impressive and is something to be appreciated. And I think the value of human touch or human made, right? We often shop organic, right? We often shop local, right? But I think going into this AI thing, we're going to be starting to shop human, right? Suddenly, it's not just, oh, these are organic strawberries. Oh, this is locally grown potatoes. I'm in Idaho. That's how it works. This was made by a person. This is actual human-made art. And we're going to start valuing that more and more as it becomes rarer and rarer. And so part of the value, part of the sale to people is how much human is in these board games. Now, it's been brought up before in a few chats around whether or not they're using AI for more than art. For instance, you can quickly have AI run up a rule book. You can have AI quickly come up with some rules, right? I did this experiment well before, and not even very well, because I didn't have very good prompts, and there's a whole lot of issues with that. But you can make AI make a board game. You can have it write the rules. You can have it title it. Maybe it came up with Grim Coven. Maybe you didn't even come up with that. It can come up with the style. You can ask what it might sell well, right? Maybe this is good. What color should it be? All of this kind of stuff. How much human is in this? Did it pick the font? Did it pick the name? Did it pick the color saturation? Did it pick the style? We don't know until Awaken Realms decides to come out and discuss how they use AI, how they have before, and how they will going forward. Once we know that, we as consumers can then start making informed decisions. And while, again, I know I'm kind of lax on the AI part, I know there are some people that very much care about this. Very, very much, right? Art is an important thing to a lot of people. And so the use of AI in that obviously is a big deal. So hopefully they can come out and discuss it in a little bit so that we can hear it. If they do, obviously I will cover it. I'll let you guys know. And we'll discuss it, what it means for us as consumers when it comes to AI art. Now, Awaken Realms, got caught with their pants down with this picture. But there are plenty of other companies using AI right now or have been using AI that maybe aren't so forthcoming like this and actually discussing it with us. So I guess what I could say is, regardless of what Awaken Realms does, moving forward, every game you see, be on the lookout. Right now, it's easy to tell, right? Right now, we get these blades that don't even attach, right? Right now, we get like weird artifacts and stuff like that. That won't always be the case. This stuff will get better and it will become harder and harder to know until eventually it's almost impossible. It's just how the technology is going to go. Right now, we're in the baby stages. It's going to get better. Do your best. Do what you can. Work with companies you can trust. Now, Awaken Realms, up until this point, has been very trustworthy, right? I think we've all trusted them. We've all put a lot of faith behind them. And we all just kind of like, I wouldn't say blindly follow, but like definitely there's a trust that needs to be broken, not a trust that needs to be earned with them, right? At least there was. Hopefully they can keep that going. And I feel they only can by actually having a conversation around their AI use. Hopefully we'll see that soon. Guys, thank you so much for watching, of course. It's been a blast. I know I haven't been posting as often. It's because I've been dealing with this kind of stuff. We'll get right back into it, of course. You guys know I'm always looking out for you guys. I love this industry, and I hope it does very, very good moving forward, of course. I'm excited about Grim Coven still. It looks very cool. It's just some AI usage, at least in the art, at least as far as we know. Again, we'll find out. Maybe there's more. Maybe we won't find out until somebody does a whistle blow or something like that. Because at the end of the day, we're just relying on them to tell us and then relying on ourselves to trust them when they do. Of course, Into the AM is a sponsor. Feel free to check out the link down in the description below. You can save 10% on top of the sale already going on all of their fantastic quality clothing stuff there. So feel free to check that out, of course. And I'll talk to you guys again actually quite soon with another video. So stay tuned for that. Take care, guys. Bye.